Hello and welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked Us, presented by Brooks Running with Des and Kara. I'm just looking at you trying not to laugh.
Wait, you're looking at me trying not to laugh, or you're looking at me trying not to laugh? You know what I mean? There's a punctuation thing
It's
there.
the second one, because you look like you're trying not to laugh at me, and then it threw off my game, man.
I'm sorry, it jumbled up, but that was fun. That was a new way to do it.
I don't even know what I said, but welcome everyone. Okay, we're gonna preview the U.S. champs, but first,
what
are you doing right now?
Hanging out in Montana in a long sleeve because I'm about to go fishing right after this call, which will be great. So an actual vacation, which has been fun.
What
are you up to? We're wearing like matching green here.
I know we are. Hold on, we're not moving to me yet. Have you been fishing every day?
Yes.
Have you caught anything good?
Yeah, it's great. So this is like one of the best rivers in the world, really. So it's like actually not easy, but easier just because there's an abundance of fish. And then yesterday we did like a full day float with a guide. So it's like they put you right on them. They're working with like your form. They make it a lot easier. That was super fun. And then we were here with some friends who like had a way more aggressive experience. I want your take on this. If you're on a guided trip and you're working with the person, do you want them to be like hard on you? Like, all right, fix your arm, set to hook, like drop the line, like giving you instructions the entire time? Or do you just want them to kind of shoot the shit and like, if you don't have as many fish, so whatever?
I don't really care about how many fish I catch, so probably I just want them to be fun and shoot the shit with me.
What if it's like something you're competitive about and you're like, yeah, I actually want to get better, but like
if I genuinely want to get better, then I want feedback, but I don't want constant feedback because then I can't even think. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's like a information overload, and then you're like,
yeah,
oh, it's all going away.
Yeah. I mean, well, now I need to know what you want. You want the info.
No, I kind of wanted to shoot the shit because I'm like, I'm not trying to win the Olympics here. Like, there's no, this is not my career path. Like, I just want to have a fun time. I did want to get better, and I felt like our guide was like really good about giving information but not lecturing.
Yeah,
and we landed a ton of fish. But our other boat was like, they were like, dude, he was on us for like 8 hours straight. Like, what are you doing? I can't believe you lost that.
Oh no!
So that was
I would just
crazy.
be like, I don't care enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you want to fish? You're a guide, not the fisherman today. Yeah. Kind of crazy. Yeah. But it was fun to have like the contrasting approaches.
I find it hard when you're trying to learn something new or get better at something when it's just like constant flood, because then I'm like, I'm trying to think about so many things that all of a sudden my brain just goes blank.
That's like my broadcast experience in a nutshell. I was like, 2 things, the show, like maybe 1, like just bring it in. They're like in your ear live time.
Oh, I know, the whole time telling you this and that, and you're like,
right now. Yeah, no, I agree. Like,
it's
you just have to commit to a longer amount of time of like getting better at it.
Yeah,
it's aggressive.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I wanted to get into hot yoga, but I wanted to get into it because I had to focus so hard on what I was doing that I couldn't think about stressful things. Like I had to be in the moment, like truly be in the moment. But then I feel like every time I go, I become like this pet project for the instructor.
Like touching you and trying to fix you.
Yeah, and then I'm like, now I'm numb, but not in a good way. I'm just
sort of stressing me out.
Yeah.
With all this.
So
also,
anyway.
the heat. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people's opinions will change of how you manage heat and also using your brain.
Yeah. I'm not great at it.
The multitasking of handling hot things.
Okay, are you keeping these fish?
Sorry, door slammed. No, it's all catch and release. Yeah,
okay.
Which is cool. It's really great. Yeah.
I read something this summer on Instagram that made me feel really sad about fishing.
That they experience like crazy amount of pain for the like 30 minutes after being caught.
Yes.
Yeah, they're super conscious. I mean, I still don't know. Like, there's probably something about that. And they definitely want to keep the fight as short as possible. Like, let's get this thing to the boat as quickly as possible. And then there's like this whole like keep them wet where you keep them in the water and then like release them as quickly as possible. So there was only like one photo. You're like, this is a photo one, like it's a pretty good size. But other than that, they're just like get them in as quickly as possible. So they try to minimize that because this is like the tourism here for fishing is that's what keeps the town alive. So if the
Yeah.
fish start to struggle or like go down in population, it's impacts the whole community.
Right.
But based on our experience, there's plenty of tiny ones out there. The babies are thriving.
Yeah, Colt's really into fishing, and it
Yeah.
carried from Minnesota back home, and he wants me to go catch a bluegill with him and touch it. I don't know why. But I'm too was too afraid to tell him that story because I didn't want him
Oh,
to like feel sad, scared or feel bad. But then he saw it on Instagram himself, and then he said, "I think it's if you keep them wet, like it's less stressful for them." So,
yeah.
I mean, you're not killing them, you're just stressing them out for
Yeah, it's
20 minutes.
stressing out.
Yeah.
It's like it is funny how fishing is so socially acceptable. But if you're like, oh, I hunt deer, like there's definitely people who are like, I can't believe you do that. That's
Right.
crazy. And there's like certain reasons that's actually good and what you could go into those debates. But like if you're using a bow or a gun or something, like people are like, that's insane. But if you fish, it's like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
like that's not gonna hurt them. And you're like,
Yeah. I mean, I personally couldn't hunt, but there's
yeah.
plenty of research that points that the deer need to be thinned out or they'll starve to death. So you're
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
like helping the life cycle. Trust me,
Yeah.
like I'm sure where you are too, there are plenty of deer where
They're
my
no
mom is in
predators,
Minnesota.
like, they don't have many predators, and they, like, drop babies all the time, so, when you smash a car into one, you're like, "I don't know, I wonder if maybe we need to control the population a little more."
Is there a lot of this is going the direction I did not expect, but is there a lot of deer that get hit where you live?
I think our area is the highest in the country, and so, like, car insurance is no fault, and I think that's part of it, like, the rates are super high, and it's just like, "Let's just build this into insurance costs," and
It's so bad
it
in
has like,
Minnesota
that was in
too.
the past, that it could have changed, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's pretty
so
crazy.
bad. And it's like yeah, even this summer, there were so many moms and their babies, and they're just standing. I mean, you get where deer in headlights comes from. Feel
Mhm.
like they're just standing there. Yeah, Adam and I were driving back from the Minneapolis airport with Colt when we had gone to Brooks PR, and it
Mhm.
was at night, and we almost hit a deer. I mean, it was like crazy, and we were coming, and it just was stuck, and we couldn't
Mm.
change lanes, and it was just staring, and finally at the last, I just started screaming because I was like, "Here it is."
Yeah.
And it finally moved, but yeah, it's crazy, and I actually don't know anyone in Minnesota that hasn't hit one.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and it's like
myself, I'm gonna knock on my fake wood desk here, but I don't live there full time, but
yeah.
yeah,
It is a tough situation because 'cause you're also like, you're not gonna swerve. That's, like, the worst thing. Like,
yeah.
so you're just, like, looking at the impact point, like, slamming
Oh
on your
god.
brakes. Like, "Stop, stop, 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 stop," or "Move." Yeah, no, so there's reasons for it, all that to say,
Yeah.
but, yeah, people are wild about hunting if you have that conversation where fishing, they're like, "Oh, that's amazing."
Right, right. Right. I know. Well,
Anyhow,
anyhow, yeah. Well, that sounds
what's up with
awesome.
you? How are things?
I'm trying to think if I've done anything cool since I saw you and basically no.
You're getting ready for USATF champs though, right?
That's true. Yeah, we had a call today. So it's kind of interesting. It's a 4-day meet, but we're only showing the last 2 days. So the meet starts
Excited about that?
Thursday. Um, I mean, for me, in the distance events, I miss the 10,000s, which is a bummer, but I'll watch them, you know? And then I miss the first rounds of the steeples and the 15s.
So they're not showing the 10s. Are they gonna put, like, a little package together?
There will be a package on the 10s, I'm sure.
Okay.
The You can watch it on USATF TV.
Okay.
It is behind a paywall.
Lovely. Love that.
This is not I just wanna say that this isn't an NBC thing, like,
No, no.
it's a negotiation like, NBC loves covering all this stuff, like, we're not covering Friday, which is when the 100 finals are.
No way, wow.
Yeah, so obviously that will get moved into the show. And then
Mhm.
the Paralympians and the outdoor champs are at the same time, the para athletes as the
Yeah,
outdoor champs. So the first day of coverage, the women's, there's 2 hours of coverage on NBC, and then we move for an hour on Peacock. And the only um, non-para thing we're watching during that hour is the women's steeple. The rest is all para athletes, which I think is awesome.
that's cool.
So it's not, NBC loves to show this stuff. It's not that NBC is like, no, but it's a business, right? You can't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like give away prime TV spot for charity. So
Fair enough.
don't blame me that it's not in TV is basically what I'm saying, or the people
Yeah.
that I work for.
So when do you get in and then you just cover the weekend, right?
Yeah, I get in Friday. I'll go over to the meet and watch the hundreds, and I will miss watching the 10,000s live because they're on Thursday. So I'll go over. I'll probably see. I
Yeah.
haven't looked at the schedule, but I get in at like 1, so I'm sure I'll be able to see the first rounds of the 15 and the steeples. And then yeah, we're on NBC on Saturday from 1 to 3 local, and then 3 to 4 on Peacock, continuing live. And then on Sunday we are on. Give me 1 second. Sunday we are on from 1 to 3 local live.
Nice. Okay. That's exciting stuff. That'll be
Yeah.
fun. And then I guess my other question for updates on Kara and Kara's family. How's Colt doing at high school practice?
Oh my gosh, he loves it. He
Yeah.
loves it. So they practice at 7:15 Monday through Friday. And we had an oops last week because he went from running, he ran like 12 miles a week in middle
Yeah.
school. Every once in a while he'd run 15, but basically 12. And then this summer he took 3 weeks to work up to 22 miles a week, I think. And then he did that for 4 weeks on his own, which was huge, 22 miles a
Mhm.
week. And then last week he ran 32 miles
Oops.
in 5 days. And we were
Oh,
like,
dang.
oh, okay. So he took the weekend off, obviously. And we just have to be a little bit more careful. He's just so excited and he wants to run with everybody. But he's loving it. He loves the guys, he loves the atmosphere. He loves it. And he's doing really well. Like they did a threshold workout yesterday and he had a great day. He was really excited. And he's not afraid to stick his nose in it, which I think is
Yeah.
cool. Like he's not afraid to go with the varsity guys. He doesn't do his long runs with them. He's like, they're older, they're stronger. But on the workout days, he's not afraid to put his nose in it. So that's been kind of
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this a little bit when the pod first started, and then we were talking about it just not pod, but the other day. Is he getting, it sounds like he's getting competitive. Like, I feel like
yeah.
when we started this, you're like, he doesn't have a competitive bone in his body, and
No,
it's weird.
it I think we did talk about this off pod. Yeah, we used to be like, I don't know whose kid that is. I mean, it almost was annoying. Like we'd be at a soccer game and he'd break away with the ball, wide open, just him and the goalie, and he'd wait and pass it to a teammate. And I'd be like, "Take the fucking shot."
What are you doing, kid?
Yeah, or he'd like when he played basketball, they would, he's always been on good teams. So he'd be on a basketball team and they'd be clobbering another team, and then the other team would score and he'd be like, yes, and high-fiving them and stuff. And he just didn't have like he just wasn't competitive. And so it's been really interesting. I'd say over the last year, kind of started with this whole goal to run under 5 minutes.
Hmm.
And then when that happened, then it was like, well, I want to win this district meet. And then it's kind of like gone from there. And now there's a desire,
Yeah,
to be top 2 or 3 on his team. And it's been cool to see an evolution. But for a long time, Adam and I were like, we gave birth to like a theater kid. Like he just doesn't care. Not that theater isn't competitive, but you know what I mean? We were just like, this is
right.
so weird because Adam and I are so competitive that we couldn't play board games together when we first got married because we would end up like throwing the
This
board.
is how we break up.
Yeah, and I remember my stepbrother, I was trying to get him to play a game with me when he was little, and he goes, "No one likes to play with you. You're so competitive."
Again.
And I was like, "Okay, true." So we're just both so competitive, and he really didn't show that until just like now he's showing it. But he's not rude. But you
Yeah.
can tell he cares. Like he definitely cares, and he has things he wants. So yeah.
That's cool. That's fun to watch that evolution and then also like adding in the mileage and the work and like yeah, it's just fun to follow.
Were
Fun
you
to follow.
competitive when you were little?
Yes, like insanely. Like you need to go at timeout and chill.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, for a long time, I thought it was something that was bad because people would be like, "Oh, you're so competitive," and I'd be like, "Okay, like try to damper it." But then I was just like, "No, I
Oh,
want to
I
win. I
can't.
want to be the
Yeah.
best." Just take it or leave it. Like even when we're talking about our goals for the pod, I'm like, I want to be the best.
Yeah,
We don't have
totally.
running anymore, so
Come
so now it's about the pod. We must be the best.
on.
I have problems.
No, it's great. I'm here to enable. Here for it. Uh,
Yeah, it's good.
well, there's a bunch of competitors lining up really soon at US Champs. Should we talk about them?
Yeah, we
Can
definitely
we get
should.
into that?
So, what's really interesting to me, and I feel like we talked about this a little bit on early pod days, is that because of the COVID year,
Mhm.
and the Olympics got pushed back a year. So usually it goes World Championships, Olympics, World Championships, year off. And so they're still racing that year, but there's no championship. So you can give the body a break. You don't have to be as sharp. You could mess around, try different training. But because of COVID and everybody's still getting their world championships, it went Olympics 21, World Championships in 22, which were in Eugene, World Championships in 23, which were in Budapest, Paris. And now this is the 5th year in a row with World Championships in Tokyo.
Mhm.
And it's interesting to see who has been able to survive that 5 years without any, like, even emotional
Right.
letdown,
You get
and who
burnt out.
hasn't. And I
Yeah.
feel like this is the first year where I really do start to see the effects of being asked to be on the top of your game 5 years in a row
Mhm.
with some of the athletes.
Do you think that people are feeling it, or do you think they're consciously like, this year is just not that important to me? Like, I have to regroup and think about another 4 year build, and I'm like exhausted. And so, I mean, it's probably a mix, but do you have any like way you see it like leaning towards, I guess?
I mean, I think that I see on the sprint side some big names not entered. And I don't know if they're injured or if they're just, I mean, I was on an NBC call earlier and someone was saying, well, some of the athletes they're just not racing this year, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what contract would allow you to do that.
Fair.
Even the most
Sure.
generous of contracts wants you to run at a world championship and a US championship. But I think there's a lot of injuries. I think of someone like Grant Holloway, who is,
Yeah.
they always talk about, is he the GOAT? Isn't he the GOAT? Well, since I've been paying attention, he's definitely the GOAT. He wins
Mhm.
everything. He's amazing. And he's been dinged up for the first time. And so yeah, there's been a couple other big names that haven't had injuries. And I think it's just when you can't slow down, like let's just say you're burnt, you come off the Olympics or you come off the world champs and you're tired or you're burnt out or you're just emotionally spent and you don't have that year where you can go, I actually don't need to be training yet.
Yeah.
You know,
Start later.
it's November. I have plenty of time. I don't need to be ready actually at all this year. Like this year I can kind of do what I want. Um
Sorry.
I was like, "Whoa." But they haven't had that, and I just think it starts to wear on you. What do you think? I mean, I guess as
Yeah.
a marathoner, like, we just go after it year after year after year.
Right, and I think you do the 2, so that's very different because 'cause you're just getting up for 2 a year, but obviously that's a huge I mean, I think at Hanson's, they would say you could only do 3 in a row, and then you have to take a marathon season off and do, like, track or half or whatever, which makes some sense just for physical reasons, but also just that emotional energy involved. I think after an Olympic year, people are just generally burnt, but yeah, I mean, I can't say if it's the big block or even just the Olympics. And then I think there is some long term thinking as well, where it's like, I can't make the LA team this year, but I can
Right.
fry myself for the build up to. That's always a fun slash interesting thing to watch is like who comes out like they miss 24 and they're like I'm gonna make the next team and they're so fired up and they're like ready to rip right out the gates. And that's a long stretch to be on.
Mhm.
So it usually kind of peters out and then maybe climbs back up. But yeah, there's always like really fast times run the year after the Olympics where people just feel like they have to prove themselves. Like I could have made that team. Like
Right.
you're not going to do it right now.
Right.
No, wait.
It's interesting in the distances, it doesn't, and I mean, I'm speaking in, like, broad strokes right now,
Sure.
but it doesn't seem like a lot of the top distance folks from Tokyo are either healthy or running really well right now. And
Mhm.
part of that is just it's been 4 years, people get older, but I do think part of it is I just, when all this went down, people were like, "We should have world champs every year." And I was like, "No, it's not good." Like they
Yeah.
need a break. They need to sleep in, and even just mentally knowing that you don't have to be in the best shape of your life for one season, you know? You don't have to up the ante for this 1 year. I just think I don't know, I think it helps long term, but
Yeah, but you're gonna find something, right? Then they throw in Grand Slam, and you're like, "Well, I'm gonna win all the money, so I have to be dialed for these 4 meets,
it's
2
true.
events." Like, you just find something,
It's true.
but it's not as huge as the World Championships. I don't know if I should say that. You wanna compare
Well,
them.
Grand Slam was gonna be bigger than the World Championships, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I read today that Darnell, um, who's the British sprinter, Darnell's
Hughes?
Hughes, said he got his appearance money, which
Yeah.
is, like, the first confirmation I've seen from someone.
I have heard that people have gotten appearance money, but not prize money.
Yeah. Again, that sorta makes sense, but also you need to pay your bills.
Well,
Still waiting to
also,
hear about
yeah, we
that.
saw that in Miramar, they're behind paying there. They missed a payment. So, listen, if I'm Michael Johnson, now I'm coming forward and stopping the rumors.
Sure,
And I'm being
exactly.
like, "Hey, we are waiting on drug testing, or we do have the money. We're doling it out slowly because of XYZ. I'm stopping the rumors because now you have Seb Coe going, well, I've got to look into that. Like the head of World Athletics is now saying, well, I need to look into that. Like if I'm Michael Johnson, I'm stepping up and saying, hey, this is what's happening.
Right. Issue a
But
statement.
yeah,
A tra
that's really, truly transparent.
with transparency, exactly.
That isn't saying I'm being transparent.
Yeah.
I just think it's what a mess.
Sorry, we digress, I
We digress.
digress.
We digress. Okay, let's preview the champs so that people can tune into USATF TV or NBC or Peacock and they can watch and they feel like they have the behind the scenes of the athletes competing.
Yeah, I think that's great. Are we gonna do the full champs, or do you just wanna, dial in on the distance and then do some quick hits on anything else?
I think that's what we should do
Yeah, I think
because I'm
that's our
not an expert
specialty.
in anything else. I can give you my thoughts, but
Yeah, yeah.
maybe Noah Lyles and Shakari Richardson will call me and tell me I'm an idiot.
I bet they're busy. Um, aw. Alright, let's start the 8s. Men's
Okay.
and women's 800s. Fun stuff in both.
Yeah,
What are you
I
looking
think
forward to? What are you excited about?
I mean, I don't call them, so I don't follow it quite as closely, but I think for the women, I think it's kind of like up in the air this year.
Mhm.
I think Mo entered last minute. She entered just a couple hours before the window closed.
How do you feel
Uh,
about her build-up this season? Like, what do you think about her season?
I I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think she does either. And I'm
Yeah.
not putting her down. I just think she is so incredibly talented and something's off.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly she's healthy and there is no injury. So something's going on there, whether it's like meshing with the training right now, or I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But she is so incredibly gifted that I know she improved from 203 to 2 flat, but
Can she bump it up another level? Do
of
you
course
think
she
that
can.
there's like, I mean, she obviously has the talent, but I guess that's to the point. Like, we just don't know what we're gonna get. And I mean, we gotta look back at the trials and like how traumatic was that? Like, is she gonna step on the track and just be like, I don't even want to be here?
Well, the good news is that she ran pre, right? So she's been
Yeah.
on that track and she got around and she didn't fall, but she ran 203. Um, but that is you're right though. She's one of those people that she went from not racing, running a random 1500, running 3000 of a 5000, then just lines up at pre, lines up with the best runners in the world. And
Go.
runs 203 and looks like she shouldn't be in there, to be fair. And then comes back a week later, 6 days later, and ran 2 flat. Now, I don't know, but at least isn't there like at least 10 American women that have run under 2 minutes this year? So it was an improvement. It's not enough, but she is the kind of athlete that could then come
Right.
out and run 157. And now all of a sudden we're talking about something totally different.
Do you think the rounds help her?
I just don't know enough about her training. Like, their camp
Yeah.
is so secretive
Right.
that my gut is no, but
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to base that off of. The
Yeah. I
rounds are
just
good just because she has to get in a race and she has such a long stride and she has to, like, maybe work on tactics a little bit, but
Yeah, I was
I
wondering if
yeah.
like a confidence perspective is like, oh, I got through, I've been clear, like just more opportunities to go mix it up and hopefully have things go well. And then
Yeah.
the next time she goes out, it's like a little bit more and a little bit more. But obviously that's hinges on it going well.
I know, well, I just think the women's 800 is just so open right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, Sage Klecker is always pretty good. Addie Wiley is up and down. She'll drop
Yeah.
157, but then she'll have another bad day. Nia Akins has kind of been up and down. Allie Wilson from the Olympic team has just had she's just had a rough year. I'm trying to think who else was on the Olympic team last year with Nia and Allie. It's
Was
really
it
bad. I
Raven?
can't think of it. Oh,
Was it Raven
Raven.
Rogers?
I don't know. She didn't make the team last year, but she also
Yeah.
has been okay. So it's just I kind of feel like it's anybody's
Who
game.
was it? Who made that team?
I don't
That's
know.
gonna
It's gonna
haunt
drive me
me.
crazy now.
It's all right. Let's move
No.
on. Chris will drop it in, maybe.
Okay, yeah, Chris, look for us. But I just feel like that's one of the I do think a lot of the women's races are wide open this year, and I would say
Yeah.
that's one of them, where
It's
it's really gonna depend on who has the right day at the right time.
it's got changing of the guard vibes.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
this is a great place to make a statement and show that you're the real deal and go get international experience on the world stage.
Yeah,
And people who didn't make the team last year are hungry.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Men's?
wait. Men's side, I think, is so interesting because you have Josh Hoey. I swear that's how you say it. Who was a 147 guy a little over a year ago and now is a 142 guy and won the world indoor title
Mm-hmm.
and has been racing the Diamond League and getting second, third, second, like right up, like looks like a medal contender.
Yeah.
Then you have Bryce Hoppel, who ran 141 last year in the Olympic final, set the American record, ended up fourth. You know, that Burn It All Down episode. I'd like to look at a couple of the guys in front of him. Um, and he has looked a little inconsistent. He's hit some good ones and looked a little inconsistent other times. And then you have the return of Donovan Brazier, who is looking more and more to me like he's making that team.
Yeah, that's such an exciting event because he's I just wasn't expected, but when he's in it and when he's on, tough guy to beat.
He
Like you
just
put him
looks,
on that team if he's at his best, right? You're just
oh,
like, yeah,
yeah,
of course. World
yeah,
champ.
world champ. But from 6 years ago, right? But I just think he looks so good, and he started off in Portland, he ran pretty well, and then he was just in the London Diamond League, and he ran even better. I think that's his third race now where he just keeps getting better. And I really like, I read an interview with his coach, Mike Smith, who just said they're not even talking about world champs. They're just talking about
Yeah.
remembering how to race. And I think it's the perfect strategy and way to lay things out for him. And he's been through so much. I mean, had so much heaped on him when he won world champs in 2019, broke the American record doing, and he won by so much. Visually, it was insane.
Is he the Athing Mo of the men's side? Or is it different?
Maybe. I mean, he kept getting injured. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Is-
that a thing's been injured. I don't know. I mean, she definitely had an injury last year, but it was like he just could not stay healthy. He had multiple surgeries. But yeah, I think he is a thing more talented. I mean, he was so good in high school. He only spent 1 or 2 years at Texas A&M and M and
Yeah.
went pro. He's
Yeah.
just pure talent. So I'm really hoping he makes that team. I don't
Who are
know.
you bumping for him?
Well, Kessler made the Olympic team. I
Hmm.
don't see Kessler doubling. I don't think
Yeah.
he can risk it on such a tight schedule. And I guess I don't follow it enough to know.
Brandon Miller.
Oh, Brandon Miller. He made the Olympic team. So Brandon Miller's, it's a little bit hard to know where he's at because he popped like a really good 800 earlier in the season, but then I think we were talking about this. He hasn't
Mhm.
run one again since.
Right, he
Then he
ran the
ran a
15.
yeah, he ran really good 1500 and then he did run an 800 after that and I was like, "Ooh, that wasn't that great." And then I realized that he ran a 1500 like an hour before. So I don't know, maybe he has some like cards up his sleeve and he just doesn't want everyone to know his type of fitness.
I could totally see that. I mean, I feel like that's how he went into the trials last year. Like, he wasn't top of the list, like, "This guy is making the team," but then you saw him close out a few of those races in the rounds, and you're like, "Oh, this dude's on a new level."
You know what? He at Brooks PR, they had a men's 800 at the start of the meet, and he paced the first 500 or whatever. Des, he was like a bullet. He was just so smooth and just gone.
He's
And
smooth.
everyone was like, keep running. Cause
It's
and
like,
he
"It's
was
not my
like,
job
no,
today."
no, it's a workout. Yeah. So if that was any indication, I mean, he has looked so good.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know. And maybe he's just being cagey on purpose. Maybe he doesn't need people
Mhm.
to know that he's in super good shape. I just think that's going to be those four guys. Somebody really good isn't going to move on.
Right, 100%.
Yeah. I think it will come down to those four guys, though.
It's actually pretty awesome that the 800 has become so stacked on the men's side because, as we've talked about before, I think the broadcast was putting pressure and a lot of criticism on that event. Like, "What's going on? What's
Yeah.
happening?
Why are
You
we
guys
so
look
bad?
uninterested in this."
Yeah.
So here we are going like, who could make this team? It's super deep, super competitive. Someone really good's gonna get left at home,
Hmm.
which is exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
not for them, but
Not for them,
for
but for
us.
the fans. Yeah. Okay. 1500.
All right.
All right. Let's start with the women. Who do you got?
I mean, I think you have to be looking at Sinclair Johnson's recent mile record and think she's in a great spot. Hiltz had great Grand Slam races, so that's a good indicator. But it's been a beat now.
Except
Um,
for they ran at pre, they ran 3:55.9.
okay,
I think they were fourth place. So I think it's going to be between Sinclair and Nikki. I
yeah,
feel like Nikki can't miss the last 2 years. Like
right.
they're just on. But I also feel like Sinclair Johnson, and I think I've said this on the pod before, but before
Hmm.
the 2021 Olympic trials, I talked to Shalane about her because she was with Bowerman at the time. And Shalane said, I think that Sinclair's a little bit too young this time around, but she said she's the most talented woman I've ever seen. And
I
Shalane does
remember.
not hand out compliments.
I remember hearing you say that, and I think that that's why she's like instantly top of mind. And then the performance at pre, and then the like, you just have
Yes.
that momentum. So I'm just excited to see what she can do.
I want her to renter her ability because I
Right.
know that can be something really special.
Yeah.
And, she was with Bowerman and then she ran for Pete Julian and then she left Pete Julian this fall and her fiance, Craig Novak's been coaching her,
Oh
which
well.
is a little dicey. Like he's young, she's young, and they're
Hmm.
in a relationship, but it seems like they're figuring it out. She made the world indoor team. Um, she ran really well at pre. I want to say she ran 356 there or 357. And then she just ran the American record in the mile. So, and she got it from Hiltz. She took Hiltz's record down. So she's not running bad.
No.
I think it's going to be between those two. But that is another event that's really deep. You got
Yeah.
Heather McLean making her way back after a couple years of injury and setback, looking really good. She took down Regina Jacobs' indoor record this year, the 3:59. I think Regina Jacobs is almost off the books now, I think, thanks to Heather.
Crazy.
Um, I know I'm forgetting a million people right now.
I know.
What's wrong with me?
That's
Maggie Congdon's been looking
yeah.
good.
How do you think collegiate season impacts? Is it better to go in with like race sharpness, and even though you're at the end of a long season, or do you think it's just fatigue hanging on at this point?
I think because it's a later year, it is harder.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think if the championships had been a month earlier, if they were in mid-June, it's a little bit different game. But I think any college athlete that just turned pro that is really hoping to make this team, I think most likely sacrifice some of their collegiate season, maybe on the early end, hoping to
Hmm.
be now. I just think about names we'll talk about like Ethan Strand and Parker Wolf, Maggie Congdon. I just think they all know that they have a chance to make it. And so I think they probably, I don't know. I'm not their coach, but I'm assuming that, you know,
Y-
yeah, they probably played that game a little bit, played their cards to be ready now.
Yeah, I would imagine that comes into play. And it's not like cross country where you're like, this is a team thing. I'm not sacrificing anything. We're going all in. Conference, regionals, nationals. Like the team actually needs this, where you
Yeah.
can change your schedule a little bit for track because it's so much more individual.
Oh, I thought of someone else, Emily Mackay,
Hmm.
who made the Olympic team last year, training with Ellie St. Pierre and Heather McLean, who now has left that group and is now coached by, ironically, Pete Julian, who Sinclair Johnson just left. But
It's the shuffle
she's been running really consistent as well. And she dropped a 1440 something indoor 5K. So you know she has strength. So the rounds won't
Mhm.
be a problem for her. And then Heather McLean also left that team and is now being coached by Julie Benson, who also coaches Nikki Hilt. So there's a lot of
Any tension on the line? I mean, not like catty women, but like we were in a training group, or you bumped me last time. Like, do you feel
definitely
that?
I definitely think the coaches are catty. Without a doubt, the coaches are
I
catty. I
agree.
think that I don't think if you left a group, there's cattiness. I feel like I remember when people were leaving Bowerman, there was a lot of support, like your career is short. But maybe between Emily and Heather, who were just teammates not that long ago and went different paths, they both left that group, but they went to two different coaches. You know, they want to. I would be like, I want to beat her to make sure I made the right choice.
For sure.
You know.
There's something to that. Yeah.
Without a doubt. So that I guess that is a little secondary storyline, Heather McLean versus Emily Mackay, two of the nicest women I've ever met, but
Right.
still they want to be like, no, I made the right choice in the coach I went to.
I
Yeah.
like that. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. What about the men's 1500? This is where America is just stacked.
Yeah, this race is crazy. I mean, I think you just look no further than the last Olympics and how the US performed. You go, "Oh, there's our guys."
Mhm.
Right?
I
Maybe
don't know. Yeah.
not. Maybe not. Changes fast.
Yeah. I have this theory that Cole Hawker, don't prove me wrong, man.
Yeah.
But
He's
that
dialed.
he is dialed, and he ran, you know, he was really into that indoor 3000. He wanted that world record. That was pretty like devastating to him.
Mm.
Go back and watch the interview after he like starts crying. He's like, I don't even know why I'm emotional. I actually love that interview because I was like, I love how much it meant to him. Like he
Yeah, he
wasn't
cares.
willy-nilly about it. He put so much into it. But the rest of the season he's been running well, but he doesn't dominate or anything. I don't think he's won a race.
I don't think so.
And but he's so focused on what he cares about, and he'll even drop clues in interviews. You know, he says like, I'm here to get a medal, I'm here to be world champion. So Prefontaine is Prefontaine, I want to run well. But so we
Right.
didn't really see him in our screens at Prefontaine, but he ran really well.
Yeah.
And I think I that's my predictor. I think he's gonna win. I think Nagoose will be second. I think Nagoose just feels like he's just living his life. He's living his best life.
Yeah.
You know, he's just loves racing. He's into it. I think that medal in Paris really authenticated to himself that he is as good as he thought, and he's not afraid to take risks. I'm willing to bet he leads the U.S. Championship final. And maybe he runs away with it, or maybe he gets kicked down. But he just
Does he have another tactic? I mean, does it like we've seen him do this, and it's so frustrating when you're a person who's like willing to push the pace or make it honest. What could he try that might break a Cole Hawker's kick?
Well, one thing I thought was at the Olympics, maybe that would be a new leaf for him because
Mhm.
he was out of it. We were
Yeah,
only looking at three guys at the 100, right? We were looking at Ingebrigtsen and Kerr, what was happening there, and then Cole Hocker was shadowing them. And then Nagoose was like out of it. And then in that final 50, Nagoose was come and come. I mean, he almost caught Kerr for silver.
yeah.
So I thought maybe after Paris, like he would be like, I'm a
Rely on
kicker.
that a little more, right?
Yeah, but every race we've seen him run this year has just been all out, and I kinda love it. I mean, he's just kind of kamikaze. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go for it," you know?
Yeah.
I kinda love that about him, but I think it makes him vulnerable in championship races.
Do you think that these 800s at Grand Slam help these guys a little bit, or is it too early in the year to impact championship racing now?
I don't know. What do you think?
I want to say maybe like you're touching that speed a little bit more frequently and you're, getting off the line quicker, you're being more aggressive, but they're not going to touch them for a couple months now, right? So, I mean, you have to go back and do the speed work and like get the finishing kick right. So maybe it just being a little bit closer to it helps some.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm
I
not
mean, I
sure.
think it's worth doing. I don't think it
Yeah.
hurts them. Um, but yeah, it is it's been a couple months since the last slam, so it's hard to know.
All right. Who else is interesting?
Well, Kessler's interesting because he had a great indoor campaign, but he's just looked vulnerable outdoors. I hate to say it because I really, really like him. But I'm not as secure that he's going to make that team as I was last year.
Hmm.
The person who's the most interesting to me is Ethan Strand, who ran blazing fast indoors. He just graduated from the University of North Carolina. He just joined Nike, Swoosh TC, and he's just got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah.
And he won at Prefontaine. They had the Bowerman Mile, but then they had International Mile before that, and he won that effortlessly. So I don't know. I think he could be a person who comes in and upsets everybody.
And he ran through the NCAA's. Do you think he's a guy who was like, I care less about NCAA championship, or did he just get beat on a day where he wasn't good enough?
I think that he really went all in on the indoor season.
Mm.
And then the outdoor season, I don't know. I don't know him. So when I say this stuff, it's just like, my mind makes up stories for everybody. I feel like he was playing the long game
Yeah,
outdoors, but
yeah.
I don't know for sure. But there's a couple of good NCAA guys, right? Like Gary Martin's in there. He ran really well at that international mile at pre. I just don't think that Kessler has done enough in the outdoor season to make me feel like, oh no, that's still our big three. Even though he was fifth at the Olympics and he's amazing, and indoors he ran when Goose broke the world record indoors, Hobbs Kessler ran the second fastest time ever, I think, at the time, and then Ingebrigtsen beat them both. But he's run really well this year. He just, I just expected him to leapfrog up to be with, we're watching the Prefontaine Mile. I just expected him to be
Be in there.
a Goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much of this championship being later changes that? You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm going to be on in indoors, and then I know I'm going to be flat for half the season, but that's not the goal. I mean, is that a thing, or do you just not show up to Prefontaine if you're not a Nike athlete and you're not 100% ready to go? Like, that's
That's a good
kind of
question.
concerning,
That's a really good question
right?
because if you're a Nike athlete, you have to be
You have to
there.
be there. Yeah.
You have a reduction in your contract if you don't run there. If you're not a Nike athlete, you don't have to be, right? But maybe it is that. Maybe he's thinking long term. And he does come from a background where they do think long term. And the program he's in does think about bigger picture stuff. And so I don't know. Maybe he is just playing us all and he's
We'll
going to go
see.
win. Yeah, I would
I
love
just
that.
think
That'd be
that's such a
awesome.
interesting challenge of this year is planning for the championships to be so late. But then
Yeah.
also managing, like as you were saying, the prior 4 years. Like, oh yeah, that plus it's late, way later in the season, so hang on even longer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Well, speaking of even longer, um, how about some 5,000s?
5,000s. I think that we can start with the women. I think this is one of the more interesting races for me, and it's not necessarily good. It's because people look tired. And
Yeah.
so it used to be so clear. These three look amazing. It's always Cranny, Schweitzer, and
Hmm.
maybe one or, Kaladi, whatever. And now it's just a little bit more up in the air, I would say, this year. Schweitzer's had some injuries, but as long as that woman is healthy, look out because she's the kind of athlete that will just go to the well
Yeah.
and get it done. Cranny's just looked a little flat this year, right? I
I
mean,
agree. She looks off. And that's like all the way from the 10 where she ran well, but not compared to other years? You're like, is this our expectations for her? Are they too
Right.
high, like all the time?
Right.
Or like, let's see what unravels. And then it's kind of just stayed sort of
Mhm.
flat, it
Yeah,
feels
and
like.
I think that she knew it was gonna be a long season, and she was doing Grand Slam to get some racing experience, but also, it's like, get paid or whatever.
Right.
But then I thought we'd see her, like, tighten up right now, and it's not listen, she's running faster than I ran, so I'm not I'm not like, "She looks so bad." She just doesn't quite look how I expected her to look right now. Again, here's a person who last year at the Olympic trials, I think it might have been her first race of the year, outdoors race of
Right.
the year, and won.
Right.
So, you never know what you're going to get with her, but I just expected to see more progress from her this year as far as like dropping PRs and being more competitive in races, and we haven't seen that. And so but also she and Schweitzer have made every team.
Right. Has her coaching, what's her situation been? Has there been a lot of shifts or changes, or is she just kind of flat?
She was with Bowerman, maybe I don't know when she started with Bowerman, maybe 2020, and
Mhm.
then because I remember Shalane saying that the delay helped her. She wasn't
Yeah.
ready to make an Olympic team in 2020, but then in 2021 she wins the 5,000, right?
Right.
So, um and then she was with Bowerman until you're really testing me. I think like end of 23. Then she joined Emma Coburn's group for a little bit, and then she pivoted and started being coached long distance by the assistant coach at NAU, who will now be the head coach, Jared Cornfield.
Oh, okay.
So she's been coached by him since, I don't know, March, April of 2024, something like that.
So it's a fair amount of time.
Yeah.
Like that's, I mean, there's some residual or a little bit of your performances are attributed to what you had been doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but now it's full steam ahead with that
Yeah.
coach.
And then Whitney Morgan made the Olympic team last year. She's pregnant, so she's not racing, which
Congratulations.
is crazy because we saw her in Grand Slam not that long ago, it feels like. But so she's not racing. And then, of course, I mean, on paper, Josette
Just
Andrews should absolutely destroy this field.
yeah.
She's running so well. And she's running, I think she scared the 4-minute barrier at a Portland meet when she was all out in front by herself. It's like the
Mhm.
speed is there. On paper, like
Hers to lose.
she should clobber everyone. She should be able to take it with 2 laps to go and just annihilate. But she's never been in that position before.
Mhm.
That's a different position for her to be in. And I think there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. So we'll see. I mean, her husband is Olympian. He gets it. He understands it. She's been in the game a while
That's what I
now.
was gonna say. She's experienced now. She's done this
Yeah,
a number of rounds, a number of times. That shouldn't be a, not an excuse, but a problem for her anymore.
right. Yeah, I know. We'll see. I know it's a lot of it's pressure, but it's also what you want. You want to be the
Right.
one that's expected to come in and annihilate everybody.
Yeah.
But other interesting storylines for me are Kaladi. Is she going to
Mhm.
come back from the 10,000, which is a couple days ahead of that? Um, Alicia Munson, the American record holder in this event.
That'll be a fascinating one.
If
That's
she made the
another
team, I would be like, that is freaking awesome.
amazing. Yeah, I think that that's like the thing, Mo, where she is talented enough, and she's like, "Oh, I've only run one sub 5 mile, and then I've strung three of them together. Like, what could her next jump be with just
Yeah.
that little more time?"
Yeah, she literally so she had 2 surgeries, so we expected to she was 5th in Budapest in the 10,000 at the World Champs. We expected her to go to Paris and contend for a medal. She ends up getting injured, she has to have surgery, she had to have a second surgery. She has been running, but not very long. Just as you said, she was quoted as saying, "I've run 1 sub 5-minute mile in practice," and then she ran 15 flat, which is 4:48 pace, right? So now give her another 3 weeks since she ran that. Who knows? I mean, she's
Right.
not a kicker even at her best, but she could maybe ride out a pace if someone wants to go and run a
She's
hard.
also just like one of the toughest people you'll
Yeah.
ever see. I mean, you think back about to the Olympic trials where she was completely gassed, just crushed at the end. You're like, that takes a special kind of person to go to the well that deep.
She ended up spending the night in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like that's how much she went to the well in the heat that year for Tokyo. And yeah, so I'm excited that she's back. I think that she's going to have a huge jump in fitness. Will it be enough? I don't know, but of all the years it might be cuz
Yeah.
aside from
It
Josette, no one
seems
else is looking that good. And then Shelby Houlihan's all in on the 5,000.
Okay.
So I think if we see the Shelby Houlihan of indoors, she's making that team.
Mhm. Also, yeah,
Yeah, but just
to
outdoors,
commit
she
to
hasn't
one
looked as
event,
great.
like, this is the
Yes,
one, I'm all in on
this is
it,
the
that's
one.
a
Yeah.
huge statement.
Yep. She just hasn't looked as I wonder about her. She was coming back from a doping ban. There's so much on the line. There's so much to prove. And she's been waiting for 4 years, whether you think she doped or not. She finally gets to do it. And there's so much and so much emotional energy.
Mhm.
The team for World Indoor, she wins a silver. She beat Jess Hull for silver in the 3,000 at World Indoors. And then she went and paced the Sound
Okay.
running 10,000, right? The 10. And she ran 15 flat and looked beep, 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 like nothing.
Cruising.
And then I just have to wonder if mentally there's this massive come down period of 4 years of waiting and wanting, and you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Or even just getting in it and be like, "Oh, this isn't as fulfilling as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this actually sort of is silly," or whatever. I
Right,
mean,
right.
just like, "This is a game.
Yeah.
I can't believe I, like, latched onto this meaning so much over that amount of time, and then actually, oh, it didn't pan out to feel or be what I pictured it to be in my mind." I
Yeah.
could see that for sure.
I mean, she hasn't run bad, but she hasn't
Right.
hit the standard. She ran 14:40 something high, missed the standard by just a couple seconds. So, anyway, that'll be interesting. She's all in on that. She's not trying to double or anything. So,
Well,
that
we'll
race to me
we'll
is interesting because there's like a lot of like mental games going on because really the only person who's lining up in the best shape of her life is Josette Andrews.
yeah.
Everybody else is compromised in some sense. So a lot of it is going to come down to like mental toughness.
And then there's always the person that you're not even looking at
Yes.
that comes and runs the race of their life, and you're like, "Oh, can't believe I missed that."
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a great race to surprise,
Mhm.
kinda break through. Alright,
Okay.
dudes.
Dudes, I feel like we're feeling the residual of Grant Fisher's medal in Paris
Yeah.
because the dudes are running
Just
out of their
ramped
minds.
up, right. It is ramped up.
I mean, Nico Young ran 12:45 to win a Diamond League. Graham Blanks ran 12:48 or 12:49. We haven't seen Parker Wolf really yet, but something tells me he's gonna be good to go. Like, I just feel like it's one of those things where they saw Grant and they said, "Okay, that's the bar. That's the
Yeah,
standard.
why
Let's
not me?
go." Yeah. So I don't think that Grant will run away with it easy.
Interesting.
I think that he's also doubling 10,000s first, but he's
Okay.
gonna have people to run with the whole time. And if he can win these races, it will be a good predictor of how his kicking has come along. He
Yeah,
wanted to work on that this year, but I don't think it's gonna be, after Paris, it was like, well, he's the guy.
yes.
Now he's gonna get like 50 national championships. But
The
these
Grant
other guys,
era.
yeah, yeah. Not that he can't win them all, but I'm just saying I think it's not gonna be to me, it doesn't look as easy as I thought it might be.
Do you think his kick has come along? Like, what do you think about his race at Pre? Impressed? Is that a good sign?
I thought he ran really well there, but I will say when you're a 5K, 10K guy and you're running
Yeah,
a mile like that, you're just gassed the whole time.
right.
You know what I mean? Like you're just running all out. It
Full
basically is
send.
like just a sprint.
Yeah,
So it's hard to read too much into that. It shows that his endurance speed is good because
right.
he ran really
At
fast.
closing.
Yeah, I mean he beat Hobbs, Kessler.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I learned a lot tactically from that as much as, oh yeah, his speed endurance is really good right now. Because I mean, I was never like Grant is Grant, but I was a 5K, 10K person. And when I would run the 1500 or the mile at Pre, I was just sprinting.
Yeah,
Just here
you're
we
not
go, buckle up.
changing gears.
Put your big girl pants on. We're just gonna sprint the whole
You're
time.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a good point. You're not seeing a lot of, like, switches and decisions. It's just full send, pin the
Yeah.
ears back and
When
go.
when you saw Nico Young kick and win a Grand Slam and kick and win a Diamond League, do you think that he has what it takes to beat Grant?
I think so. I think I mean, he's still super young, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Um, but yeah, I think he'll be there this year. I think he's leveled up. And like this is his first what is his first year as a pro,
Mhm.
where you don't have the college responsibilities, the schedule. I mean, last year we were talking about him as like he ran so well, and like now he has to go NCAA cross, and then he's going to do the 10, and then how do you manage the season for this, and also the trials? Like all of those problems are gone. So I think this will be fun to see how he is as a professional, and I think you're going to see that turn up in ability. I think we saw it with like Alicia Munson coming out of college as well. Like she's good, and then it was like, oh shit, like she's world class.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
really good point that it's his first year as a pro. You're right. I didn't even think about that. I did notice that he and Grant did not run a 10,000 yet this year.
how'd you notice that?
Well, just, I was just thinking as I was
Keep
getting
an eye
ready.
on those.
I'm just thinking like
Yeah.
normally they run one, right? And they
Hmm.
haven't this year. So USA's will be their first one. But I was thinking about it because I was talking to NBC about it and I'm thinking, and again, I don't know. I'm not their coaches. I'm not them. I don't have a relationship really with them or their coaches. I'm just a fan. But it seems like maybe big long term planning. We have the standard because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's a long year. I
Right.
don't need to do that. Instead, I can work on sharpening my kick, sharpening my endurance speed, stuff like that. So
How does that change the tactics on the race? Like, do you think they need to stretch the legs? Or are they like relying solely on a kick? We have the standards and like who else does? I mean, we could get into all of the standard stuff, but that's a whole
that's a whole
different
can of worms.
conversation.
Yeah, I think we should actually also just talk about the men's 10,000 right now as well
Yeah.
because there's so
I
much
was kind of leaning
crossover.
into that. Yeah.
Because Drew Hunter was Nico Young barely outkicked Drew Hunter
Yeah.
last year to get that third spot, and Drew Hunter is double entered in the 10,000, 5,000.
Okay.
And Grant is obviously double entered. So is Nico. So is Graham Blanks. The only person that I think is Abdi Nur is double entered. Um, guy who everybody loves, Woody Kincaid is double
That's good.
entered.
Yeah.
Um,
I
guy
love
who
that
everybody loves.
description. Oh, him.
Oh, the guy that everyone hates. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Um, um, the one person who is not entered in the 10,000 is Parker Wolf,
Hmm.
and I do think that a hard 10,000 benefits him, right? Because he's going to have fresh legs in that 5. And the
Yeah.
harder they run in that 10, the better it is for him coming in with fresh legs. But I do see a similar race unfolding in the 10 and the 5
Yeah.
of a semi modest pace that builds to a little bit, but then becomes a kicker's race. I mean, I don't see anyone just taking it out and trying to run away with it. Do you?
No, I mean, I've never seen that
Right.
in these championship races. No one wants to lead. No one wants to chase any time. That's not what it's about, which is great. Like, instead of looking at the clock, it's just pure racing. But as we saw in Grand Slam, not a lot of motivation to go to the front and push for the men's distance crew. Um,
I think it'll be pushed more than Grand Slam
yes.
because if you leave it too open, this is really crude, but Shalane used to always be like, you don't want to leave it for someone to get a boner.
Wow.
Like, but it's the perfect description.
Yes,
Like
like
someone hangs in long enough and then they're like, oh my God. And they actually have a kick.
they can do it.
And
Yeah.
you let this person, so they want to get it down to the contenders and get rid of the pretenders. I
Yes.
think we'll see something that's more aggressive than Grand Slam.
It'll wind up for sure.
But I think, it's a lot of people that have been working on their speed.
Yeah.
Nico, Grant,
Do
you
we
know?
know if Parker Wolf is healthy? Like, I mean, I knew he was a little dinged up by the end of NCAA's. That's been a while now. Has he done any indicator races? Do we have any signs on where he's at? I mean, his trials race was crazy.
It
He
was
was running
crazy.
so fast. We're watching Grant kick, and I'm like, he looks slow because you can see Wolf just being like,
Yes,
"Vroom."
I
It
know.
was insane. So,
I thought this was maybe going to be like a coming out year for Parker Wolf. Like, here I
mhm,
am. I arrived because, he was third at the trials. Just to remind everybody, he was third, but he didn't get to go because he didn't have the
right.
standard and he wasn't ranked. So Graham Blanks, who finished fourth and had the standard, ended up going and ran great. I mean, made the Olympic final and ran awesome and definitely represented Team USA really well. But I kind of thought this was going to be like his coming out year, like finally I
Yeah.
get the accolades, and it just didn't work out that way for him. But I think he's really talented. I know he was dinged up a little bit in the college season, but I think he ran a Portland race. He and Ethan Strand just both did. I think as a
Okay.
tune-up. I think he ran a 1500, I want to say.
And
Um,
those two are both going to Mike Smith's crew.
yep.
Okay, any cattiness here? So we're gonna do with the men's side as well. With the new training partner, Nico Young, is there like
Ooh.
some elbowing for attention or, bragging rights among the group, or is it camaraderie? Is there any of that?
So I don't think they're there yet. I think they're
Yeah.
still with Coach Milt through this season, but I do feel like it's weird. Maybe it's just me, but like you've built this relationship with your coach. You went to college for this coach, and now your competitors are coming and joining.
Yeah.
Like, of course, they're all good guys and they're going to get along and it's going to be fine. But I always think, isn't like when these situations happen, I think, is there any part of Nico Young that is like, I came from the beginning. I
Yeah.
believed in you from the beginning? And I
Totally.
proved that you were a good coach and I believed in you all 4 years of college or whatever. And these guys went and did their own thing and now they're coming. I don't
Yeah,
know. Who knows? They'll probably all help each other. I mean, Ethan
for sure.
Strand will help Nico Young because he's just so fast.
Mhm.
Um, but he and Parker Wolf are direct competitors in the 5,000. And you got to think eventually Parker will run the 10,000.
Move
So,
up. Yeah.
yeah. What do you think? You think there's any cattiness there?
Probably not. I just felt like I asked it for the women, and so I
Yeah.
had to ask it for the men. And in neither scenario do I think it probably happens, but I do think there's a little bit of like dynamics, group dynamics, and how do you mesh in? And then, you're competitors in college, but now you're quote unquote teammates, but you're not really teammates because it's
Right.
not a team thing. And so that is always fascinating to me. And training groups are interesting in they're always changing. So someone can run really well in the right situation, and then you get one new player and it changes everything because
It
the
like
dynamic's
all up.
different. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just find it fascinating.
Yeah. That will be interesting. Yeah, again, hard it's hard to pick. I mean, I think Grant Fisher is gonna make both teams. I'm super confident. I think Nico Young will too, and I guess
All
that
right.
third spot. All right,
Let's
women's 10.
pivot to the women's 10. Any feelings on this? What are we
Well, you sent
thinking?
me an article today about how none of the women have the standard except for Valby, Schweitzer, and Kaladi, and Valby's out.
Mhm.
So I think that Kaladi's gonna run really well. I think Schweitzer again is the biggest gamer. I mean, I wish she could be healthy for 2 years.
I know.
Because it would be fucking awesome. I think she
What's
could just
possible?
destroy a half marathon,
Yeah.
just destroy one, but would never count her out. I think what's kind of fun is it leaves this window for some other women to really step into the limelight. So I think Amanda Vestry is due for a really good one.
Mhm.
Just Jess
Okay.
McLean is entered, although she's
That'll
already
be
on the team.
fascinating. Just like
Yeah.
how are you managing marathon training? Do you see that impact? I think the other thing is you're starting to see a lot of these 10K women training and getting like fluids on the run. So
Mhm.
there's probably some marathon deals that have been done and you're sort of in marathon training, but you're also in this other training. And then if you make the team, you're going to pivot, but you're still going to be doing. And so that sort of dance that we don't really know about until the marathon team or, elite fields are released um, is probably happening in the background too,
Yeah, I bet you're right.
which is always just like fun to see how it fits in. And then you look back and you're like, that's a little flat or didn't quite have
Right.
the, late kick or like, what's the mileage like right now? I mean, it's pretty early if you were doing, no, I mean, if you're getting ready for New York, you're starting to think about it, right?
Right.
And if Chicago, you're in it.
You're in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Emily Anfeld's running one of the best American 10,000-meter runners ever. She won a bronze in was that
She's
2013 or 2015?
15.
2015 at the World
I don't know.
Champs. Um, but you know who I'm really interested in watching is Taylor Rowe.
Oh yeah.
She just has been so good this year on the roads,
Mhm.
and she ran a really good 10,000. But I would assume, I could be wrong, that she's going to be really rested for this.
Yeah.
So she won the half marathon championships. I can't even remember her time anymore, but it was like ridiculously fast.
Yeah,
And then
it's
she ran
crazy.
a really good 10,000 1,000. I don't remember exactly what it was either. I'm sucking right now, but I think yeah, I'm excited to see what she does. I think she could be, I don't know. I don't want to put pressure on her, but I think she could really break out and surprise people potentially. Who knows?
I agree. She's been pretty lights out good this year, and there's no like she's beating the top American women. You know, she beat Kaladi. No, she didn't beat Kaladi at the mini, but she hung with her for a long
She
time.
hung for a long time. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, she's not afraid to just put her nose in it and like, I don't care who you are. I'm
Yeah.
gonna knock heads with you for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, the half marathon, she was lights out good at the U.S. Championship and has just won a number of U.S. championships. So getting on the track is different, but it's not. You know,
Yeah.
but she's raced pretty much that field on the roads a number of times, and then you add in Cranny and Carissa, which they don't get on the roads too much, but
I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing is like if everyone's hitting, it should just be Cranny, Schweitzer, Claudia. But the door is open. There's a creek because they aren't all hitting right now. I mean,
right,
Claudia's pretty solid. And again, I would never count out Cranny or Schweitzer ever.
right.
But there's a crack in the door, and so it's like who's going to step up and take advantage?
Is Cranny committed to the double? Like, has anybody heard how she's? Because I just feel like sometimes she's like, I don't even like the 10. I'd rather run the
She
15.
says that, but she's entered them both.
Okay.
I think, I don't know, but maybe sometimes when you're just like not having the year you want, you're like, I just got to get on the team.
Yeah.
And then next year I can, once it's over, I can
It's
figure
the
out,
event. Right.
like what's going on, what I need to change for next year. But a lot of contracts, if you're not on that team, it's a reduction. So there's a lot of pressure to make the
A lot
team.
on the line.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tune in. Tune in for all that's on the line. With
Wait, we forgot the steeples.
I don't know them well enough, but I mean, I guess I just don't know the women's side right now.
I think the women's side is an official changing of the guard. I think we
Yeah.
kind of talked about it last year with Frericks and Coburn having some injuries and not being in there, and Coburn's out this year. She has a hamstring that just she can't
Yeah.
get over it. And last year it was Val Constein and Courtney Wayment that were one.
Marissa Howard.
Marissa Howard's out this year. But actually, I think Gabby Jennings is my pick. She's in Emma Coburn's camp. She's learned
Mhm.
from the best. She's been running really well all year, and she's my pick.
She had a good year last year. I feel like she was flat at the trials, but she looked really strong in the rounds and just had like a nice solid year. So,
Yeah, I think she was 5th or 6th at the trials last year,
yeah.
and she's just gotten better. And I think Val Constein has kind of been up and down. Wayment, I was like, what happened at pre? Well, she had one shoe.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
So that's a big deal, especially when you're steepling. Think you're either
Yeah.
pushing off the barrier or you're landing without a shoe, right?
Right.
So I think she's gonna step up at USA's, but I just think Gabby Jennings is again the one caveat being she's never been in that position
Yeah. And
of
you feel on the collegiates, I feel like they always surprise in this event.
good point. But the big NCAA winner is Kenyan. So
She looked good.
and then there is another athlete. Was it a BYU athlete? See, now I feel embarrassed. And then Kaylee Mitchell has done really well with her first year, I believe, at Bowerman. Chrissy Gear, I think it was a BYU girl, and they always run well. Diljeet Taylor always has them dialed. So it is a true though changing of the guard. It's like new names coming
Yeah.
up, and
It-
like Emma and Courtney, like they push that event forward on the world stage, and then now it's time for the people who grew up watching them to take over.
Is Courtney in the race?
I think she might be entered.
Yeah.
I
So, I
didn't.
mean,
Yeah, and
you
who
never know.
knows with her too. Like she's just so good at it.
Right.
But I don't see her. I mean, Courtney, prove me wrong. I would fucking love to
Yeah.
see
There we
you
go.
win this
I
thing
like
and
that.
like go get a medal. That would be epic. But I just,
It would
what
be hard.
sucks is like careers, there is an arc.
Yeah. For sure. I
And,
mean, she's coming off like ACL surgery
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
And you
It's
can do
super hard.
everything right. And there still is this thing called aging. And I just don't see her running sub 9 minutes again. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
she can't make a team and do well. And especially if it became a tactical effort. But yeah, prove
Yeah.
me
If
wrong,
you
Courtney.
tell
That
her
would be
to
freaking awesome. Yeah. And then on the men's side, I think
Evan Jager.
no. God bless him. I love him, but no,
Yeah,
he's not making that team. Which was crazy last year.
I
Remember
know.
that?
That's
He
why I
ended up
say that.
was
You
he
just
fourth at
don't
the
know.
trials? Did he end up getting fourth?
Yeah, and then it was
And
like the waiting game of
yeah,
like, could
because
Corrigan
Corrigan
get
didn't
that
have the
time right?
standard and Evan did.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So you never
crazy.
know.
You never know. Well, yeah, he's such a beautiful steeplechaser, but I think my gut says no.
Who's the new boys in town?
I think it's going to be Minnesota boy, Matt Wilkinson.
Oh, okay.
I think he, again, the way that I think Grant has gotten people to step up in the distances, I think Kenneth Rooks got him to
Yeah.
step up. And he's run 8:10 this year. He's been running well. James Corrigan's run really well. He's run 8:14
Mhm.
this year. Kenneth Rooks doesn't look great, but does he ever? He just
Right.
shows up at USA's and
Gets it
destroys. Yeah.
done.
Or, takes the lead at the Olympics.
Right. So we
Runs
need to
away with
knock
it.
him down so that he can have a comeback story.
Yeah. So I would never count him out. But I feel like it's going to be those three guys again, the Olympic team again.
That would make a lot of sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I like as I said, I don't follow it that closely.
It's definitely the event I follow the least that I call. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to own that.
Which is like such a bummer because Rooks did so much for it last year. Like just put it on the map. So
Oh,
I should be
that
better.
race,
It was
go back
crazy.
and watch it.
I know.
He took, everyone thought it was going to be the same race we've seen the last 5 years, which is Girma and El Bakele fighting it out over the last lap. And Kenneth Rooks goes to the front. And not only does he go to the front, he opens up a gap. And it's like you can see them being like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever. And
Who's
then all of a
this?
sudden thinking, wait, what? Who is this guy? And they're in a panic to chase him down. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's part of why Girma fell, which is horrible. But I think it was almost this panic of, I, I
Yeah.
can't really be thinking about how I'm going over this barrier. I got to get that guy.
Crazy shift
Yeah.
all of a sudden. Yeah.
And then Ricks got caught down the home stretch, and I was like, oh, he's going to get third. This is epic. And then he battled back
Fights
and got
back.
this. It was so freaking good.
All that to say, don't count him out.
No, yeah.
Don't count him
And,
out.
he fell at the US Championships the year before and got up and won. So, like, Kenneth Rooks is Kenneth Rooks. He's going to do Kenneth Rooks stuff.
Exactly. Love it. All right,
Okay.
well,
I feel
let's do
good
a
about
top
it now.
five because
Okay.
we said we were going to keep this one short, and Chris was like, "That's not possible. Not going to happen."
I
And here
cannot
we are.
believe we're still talking. I was like,
Here
this is going
we
to be like
are.
30 minutes. Okay. Well, this is going to be a lever lift up segment.
Woohoo.
Our lever top five. I'm going to say I've been back in the lever because my dystonia had gotten so
Yeah.
bad. So I'm back in the lever basically 5 days a week right now. And I am
Gee.
starting to feel a little bit better.
Well, that's not uplifting, but then right at the end, it was uplifting. So that's good.
It helps me so much to just not worry about falling and tripping and knowing that I'm locked in and just like the little feel of the cable. And so
Yeah.
I am super grateful to my lever and Adam Goucher
Is
has
he on
been
it?
running.
Let's
He's been
go.
going back and forth between inside on the lever and outside for the first time in, I don't know, 5 or 6 years that he's been consistently running a little bit. So shout out to Lever, longtime supporter of the pod now. Thank you so much for giving me the ability to run. And now we'll do our top five.
Well, one second. I'm just going to say that I've been using it for adding in second runs.
You have?
I think it's adding on mileage, getting a little bit more in there. You don't want to turn it up too quick too soon. Sorry. So I think that that's another great way. Like if you're not injured or working through something, it still can add to your training.
Yeah.
And I will say, check out the show notes for a coupon code that you can use for Lever if you're interested.
Yeah. It's such a helpful tool. It's an investment up front, but it's really not. All you need is a
Yeah.
treadmill with bars on it. If you have a treadmill with bars at the gym, at your house, whatever, if I can set it up, you can set it up.
Easier than your electronics.
I am very challenged. I don't put anything together. It's nobody asks us all caps and you get 20% off. And it is a huge investment like for your future, for your health. You're training, maybe you're training to qualify for something. You're starting to feel a little worn down. Spend a couple days in that, take some weight off, just give the joints a break, but then you get to keep running. It's
Yeah.
a huge lifesaver for me. And I can see where Colt, if he wants to stay at 30 miles a week, maybe one of those days is
Right.
on the lever. I mean, we put the kibosh on it this week. We're like, you can't run 32 miles. You're not ready. But I can see where we'll be working that in where he wants to start to build up, but let's do it
Right.
in a more safe
Just a
way.
little assist. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Do you got
Okay.
one? I always like to push it off on you because then you have to do three.
I know. I know that tactic. I know that tactic. I'm gonna go. Well, this is just because I'm here. Montana is absolutely stunning. What a cool place. I'm excited. Not that it hasn't been great chatting with you and talking about track, but I'm excited to get outside because it's just gorgeous here. So, woo, Montana.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Montana. I went on a recruiting visit at Montana State
I
and
know
I've
it.
never been back, and it's a state I definitely want to go to.
Would recommend.
I'm gonna go on that theme and say Boulder, Colorado in the summer. I
Ooh,
haven't been in Boulder, Colorado for the last 4 summers because we spent the whole year in or the whole summer in Minnesota, and we came back this year because Colt had practice or has practice. It is gorgeous here. It
yeah.
is so beautiful. The trails are a buzzin', especially in the mornings. Like everybody gets up early to run because it is hot and dry, and it's just so busy, and there's so many people out, and it's gorgeous. I can't believe we've missed it all these years. It's really nice to be back.
Love it. Okay, I'm just gonna go with track and field. I'm so excited that it's like into the meat of the season, and we haven't talked about a ton of storylines because it's so international, and you just see a few people here and there, and like this is into the heart of the season, the stuff I think that we care about the most. So I'm excited to watch all the races, see where people are at, see who surprises, learn some new names, and then have the team to root for as they head to the World Championships in Tokyo and battle the world.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the response to the O Ruth episode,
Ooh. Good one. That's brave.
which was that everyone was pissed off, but it was also cool to see so many people commiserate, having their emotions and feeling like they could say that how disappointed they were or whatever. And I just thought it was a great engagement episode from that perspective of people responding and leaving messages. And so it's kind of a bummer of an episode, but it was good to be reminded that people care and they listened
Yeah.
and they commiserated with us on the challenge of the situation.
Yeah. Um,
Bring us home. Bring
no, I
us
got
home.
nothing. Give me an assist.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to say like something about my dogs, but
Chris just chimed in with a crouton.
oh yeah.
Crouton's so uplifting.
Crouton was the hit of the last episode. She was a standout star.
He's such a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we did that episode, she was sitting on the couch with us and curling up with it. We had to like wear her down a little bit, but Chris did message us and say that now she sits on the couch and looks around like, "Are you guys going to pet me or
Yeah.
yeah, where's
I
my
think dogs in
attention?"
general. There's just so many good stories. I see CB's dog Miles, and I just always go boop, and she thinks it's hilarious. Your dogs are such personalities and characters, and when our dogs when we get home are going to go nuts. It's amazing. And I'm going to leave it with this dog yesterday that was on our float trip, who was a failed avalanche dog
Oh
but
wow.
became like a just this guy the guide's dog and goes on all the boat trips and just sits there so quietly and then the boat pulls over, he jumps out and like wanders freely and plays and like goes in the water and then takes a nap on the grass and then it's like they whistle for him and he just jumps right back in, lays down. It was like the perfect dog. It's
That
like
is a
what a
good
life.
dog.
Really
Yeah.
good dog. So Merrick, that's a top
Merrick.
five, a very uplifting dog.
Well, I love it.
How's that?
That's perfect. Thanks so
Awesome.
much, everyone.